Hi there, I am going to show you how to make a pavlova. This is the end result. It has sort of a meringue outer crust and a gorgeous silky interior. Then it is topped with cream followed by fruit generally. I'm going to show you how to make it. Here we go. Today is 5-year-old Layla's and 3-year-old Josephine's birthday. They're 2 years apart but share a birthday. And I'm making a pavlova. This is something I make quite often when we have a party. And I triple what would normally be a regular size recipe to feed a nice large crowd. I'm first going to take you through all the ingredients and instruments you'll need. And the only thing I'm not showing is a serving platter. You'll need a large enough serving platter of your choice, and this pavlova is amazing. My daughter requested it. So what we need, we're doing 12 egg whites. Now you may be wondering why they're in water. That's because I'm not all that organized and I've got them in some just slightly warm water to bring them to room temperature. The egg whites work better when they are at room temperature. So that's one option, or you can just use them straight from the fridge. It'll still work, but this is just to make it a little bit better. A little bit of corn flour. I use less corn flour than most recipes. I don't like the grainy texture that it can give, but it, helps it to hold together a little bit. So I do use a little bit. You will need caster sugar. I don't know that it's called caster sugar in all countries. It's just a very fine white sugar for cooking cakes and things. So, and then you will need a little bit of white vinegar. You will need some sort of hand mixer or KitchenAid, something like that. I just use a cheap hand mixer, does the job. You will need a couple of little bowls or cups for separating the egg whites from the egg yolks, and you'll have to just keep the egg yolks for another recipe. You can make a custard or something like that. You'll need just some measuring spoons and a measuring cup. You will need one large pizza tray and some baking paper. And then you'll just need a small board and a knife for cutting up fruit. Now this tray here shows what I'm going to be topping my pavlova with. So I have 600 ml of cream for whipping, and then usually I do banana, strawberries and passion fruit. I probably won't use all of those passion fruits, but today I'm also going to add some fresh blueberries. So that is what you need. Now let's get started. Okay, so before I crack each egg, I'm just going to give it a quick dry. Okay. So I'm using a smaller bowl for the egg whites because each individual one I'm putting in the big bowl, and then a slightly larger bowl to keep the egg yolks. I'm making pavlova.
Mommy!
Yeah.
Can you eat it now?
And we're having cheesecake.
Can you have my cheesecake?
Yeah, it's your cheesecake. Your birthday cake is going to be cheesecake. I will add a couple of things. First of all, you want a really clean bowl to whisk these whites in. Any sort of oil residue is going to affect how well the egg whites behave. And also be extra careful to make sure you don't even get a speck of yolk in those whites. Now you want your oven preheating on 100 degrees Celsius if it's fan forced. If it's not fan forced, then 120 degrees Celsius. So a very low oven. It takes about 20 minutes of prep, and it takes an hour in the oven plus cooling down time. So the first thing we do once we've got the egg whites in this big bowl is we whisk them on high for about 4 minutes, but until soft peaks form. I've just started just 10 seconds ago, and then I remembered to put you back on, so Here we go. A minute, and you've got your little peaks. Now we're going to start adding sugar. If you're using 12 eggs, you're going to want 3 cups of caster sugar. So it's a lot, but it feeds about 16 people. First cup. Now, you add this very gradually. This is an incredibly easy recipe to make, but you do need to make sure that the sugar granules are completely dissolved, particularly towards the end, but in between little batches of adding it. So you only add, say, a couple of tablespoons, then you blend it in well, and occasionally just feel it between your fingers and see if it feels grainy. If it feels grainy, give it more of a whisk. So this process is just a little bit, you have to be patient. Okay, so far I have added 1/3 of the sugar. I've added an entire cup, and I'm about to start adding the second cup. Now just use a spatula in between cups, I'd say. You don't have to go overboard, but just to push any sugar granules from the side. Absolutely gorgeous. Once you've made your own pavlova, you will never buy store-bought again. Now, usually the corn flour amount is a lot higher in any pavlova recipe, but I have lowered it. For 12 eggs, I'm putting in 2 teaspoons of corn flour, and I'm putting in 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. And then I'm simply folding that in. Okay, now you grab your pizza tray, you put some baking paper on it, and then using a rubber spatula, you dollop your egg white mixture in the middle and work your way around a bit. Your pavlova will hold the shape that you give it. And I like to have a bit of an indentation in the middle. And there you have it. So sometimes it works out a little more bulky, and but that is still fabulous. And then you've still got to add all the cream and the fruit at the end. So what you're doing now is you're putting it in your preheated oven. You're leaving it in there for 1 hour. You're then turning the oven off and leaving it in there for around an hour to cool down with the door ajar. You can dress it at the very last minute, so this is a great cake to make in advance. You can leave this in an airtight container for a couple of days and it'll be good to go. Okay, it's later now. The pavlova has cooled down in the oven. I've chopped up the fruit, I've whipped the cream, and I'm going to dress the pavlova. Now when it comes to whipping the cream, a lot of people put a little bit of sugar in. I don't do that. There's heaps of sugar in the pavlova, in the fruit. It's nice just to have the simplicity of creamy cream. That's how I see it, but go ahead and add a little bit of sugar if that's what you do. I do use a lot of cream on this pavlova because I've used 12 eggs, so it's for a lot of people. Usually you'd use about 300 ml for a pavlova made with 4 eggs, so 600 ml for a pavlova made with 12. I think that's fairly reasonable. Okay, so the cream is on. Now you can put chocolate flakes on here instead of fruit if you wanted to, or as well as. My favourite is banana, strawberry and passion fruit. And today I'm going to also put on some fresh blueberries just for some extra colour. And this is the delightfully gorgeous result. If you can believe it, it actually tastes better than it looks, and it looks pretty good. I believe Pavlova tastes even better the next morning. You would definitely serve it to guests within a few hours of dressing it with the cream and fruit. But anyway, this is your end result. Pavlova, great for any event, perfect summer dessert, but can be enjoyed all year round. Also quite inexpensive. Most of the ingredients you'll already have in your home. Eggs, sugar, that's pretty much it. You just need cream and some fruit and you're good to go. You can make this even if you don't have corn flour. Just omit it, it'll still work out. Guys, this is a big winner at any event. Everybody loves it. So go ahead, put a little bit of time in. Certainly doesn't take much effort, just time. If you try it, let me know how it turned out and enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.